On October 14, 2025, support for Windows 10 officially ended. That means Microsoft will no longer ship free security or liability fixes for the OS. Every month, you remain unpatched increases the risk for your clients. In this video, I will make this decision easy for you. By the end, you will know when extended security update makes sense and when it's cleaner, safer, and actually cheaper to move to Windows 11 25H2. We will also walk through the rollout rhythm, key issues you must check, and even the message you can send to your customers. Let's dive in. First, let's clarify what changed. Windows 10's mainstream support is over. According to Microsoft Lifecycle announcement, after October 14, 2025, these editions will no longer receive security updates, non-security updates, bug fixes, or technical support. Now, some people assume that means apps like Microsoft 360 apps also stop working on Windows 10. That's not correct. While the OS is no longer supported, Microsoft 365 apps will still receive certain security updates on Windows until October 10, 2028. In short, the OS is legacy. Your risk surface increases. The productivity apps have a little runway, but it's not a justification to stay on Windows 10 indefinitely. So what's the ESU extended security updates? Think of it as a paid seatbelt on an old car you're about to trade in. It gives you critical and important security fixes after end of support. But it does not give you new features, does not restore full mainstream support, and does not reduce the operational burden of managing an aging OS. ESU is a bridge, useful when you're blocked by a business-critical app, hardware refresh cycle, or regulatory lag. If none of those conditions apply, paying for ICU to delay is often more costly than migrating. Microsoft's language, ESU keeps patches flowing while you complete the move. So ask yourself, are you buying time or avoiding a decision? If you decide to migrate, and in many cases you should, your target build should be Windows 11 25H2. As with any major jump, you must check for risks first. For example, in October, Microsoft released a patch KB 5066835 that caused USB keyboards and mouses input failures in WinRE. They released a fix KB 5070773 on October 20, 2025. Before you scale, validate your pilot machines have that fix and that recovery works. A 30-second check now saves a bad day later. In other words, go to Windows 11, but go prepared. Let's frame the decision around 5 realities you see in your client base. First, compliance pressure. If a customer is under audit and regulation-heavy frameworks, for example NIS2, running unsupported OS without ESU puts you in a weak position. 2. Hardware readiness. If devices meet Windows 11 requirements and are not running exotic drivers, moving now means you avoid paying for ISU and a later upgrade. 3. App compatibility. If a mission-critical app blocks you in this quarter, place those machines on ISU temporarily, document the risk, and push vendor or packaging teams. 4. Budget and refresh plan. If devices are due for replacement in the next 2 quarters, combine OSA jump and hardware refresh to reduce costs, but don't leave them unpatched while you wait. 5. Time is a forcing function. Every month backwards on Windows 10 without ESU is a bet that nothing happens. And that's not a bet you control. When you roll out Windows 11 25H2, do it boring on purpose. Start with a pilot ring, your IT team and vocal power users. Validate imaging, drivers, apps. Then a broad ring, covering 1/3 to half your estate. Finish with stragglers, devices with special scheduling or packaging needs. Respect Microsoft safeguard holds. Plan on rollback windows, so technicians aren't improvising at 11 p.m. Also, double-check your endpoint security stack, VPN client, DLP, print drivers on representative devices. Not because 25H2 is unlikely risky, but because user pain caused by a forgotten driver is what kills rollout momentum. Your communication matters. Here's a message your finance and operations folks will appreciate. Windows 10 is out of support, increasing cyber risk and insurance guarantee. We recommend either immediate migration to Windows 11 25H2, or if migration is blocked, enrollment in extended security updates so you keep receiving critical patches. We validated the current 25H2 fixes, including October out-of-band update for recovery, and we will schedule your rollout to avoid peak business hours. This phrasing shows you're not giving an opinion, you're presenting validated steps, risk assessment, and timing. If you're still on the fence, notice how hidden costs pile up when you choose to just wait. Engineering hours for manual patch verification on an EOL OS don't appear on Microsoft license price sheet. They show up in overtime, longer incident response, user downtime, help desk stress. ESU can be right for a few devices, but making it your default strategy is how estimates get stuck. A cleaner posture. Move the majority to Windows 11 now. Keep a small subset on ESU for a defined period. Set a firm sunset so you're not still carrying them in 12 months. Here's the bottom line. Windows 10's clock has run out. Microsoft 365 apps may still get some updates, but the OS itself is the bigger risk. Use ESU only where it buys you meaningful time. Otherwise, migrate to Windows 11 25H2. Validate your pilot devices, plan your rollouts, secure drivers and imaging, and communicate clearly to your customers. That plan keeps your customers compliant, your help desk calm, and your weekends free. If you find this video helpful, hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay safe out there. See you in the next video.